Palin even gave us a sneak peek into the future of the show. Palin posted online, "Here's a peek into our spectacular day with Sportsman Channel as we enjoyed getting a little mud on the tires." The Honorable Dakota Meyer joined us in Alaska to get our red, wild, and blue on. Dakota is our Medal of Honor recipient who has never stopped serving our amazing America. It's a pleasure to highlight him in an upcoming Amazing America episode. Well, we are certainly looking forward to that. Amazing America airs Thursday nights at 8 on Sportsman Channel. To see any of the governor's posts in their entirety, visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page, and you can follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA.
It's time for Commonwealth Common Sense with Susan Stimson and Kevin Scholla.
Hello, Susan. How are you?
Kevin, I'm doing very well. Hope that you are as well.
Yes, I am, but, some folks in Washington, again, just not getting it, and, sometimes things are right there in front of their nose, and, is it safe to say it's just flat-out lying? I know this is an issue that just, has had both of us really livid for so long, but you're particularly upset about something this week.
Well, actually, it's very interesting. Finally, it is in the mainstream media on most of the news sites because it has come out that there was an email that the White House sent where they were giving talking points to the UN ambassador, Susan Rice, and basically coaching her on what to say regarding the attack in Benghazi. And the only reason that we have this email, even though it was the House that subpoenaed it, they had to go to court, and there had to be a ruling among the court to get this email. But the audacity of this administration, instead of just speaking the truth to the American people, and in fact, the ambassador that was killed was a Democrat. He was a friend to these people, and they are just covering up what actually happened instead of admitting what went wrong and making sure that we don't do this again. It's just the audacity of twisting things around and looking you in the eye and saying such things as, if you want to keep your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And on this, they're simply saying that, that email is not referring to Benghazi.
There's no limits. You would think, okay, you want to do this dance on health care or other issues of legislation, but here you're talking about 4 Americans who were just brutally tortured and killed, and still, they'll vilify Watergate, but not this, where lives were lost. And you're just trying, you've seen the responses from Hillary, from Obama. It's amazing. And Republicans, where are they to call this out? You have the few, we have a lot of fish to fry in 2014, obviously, but you're looking ahead at 2016. That's why you need someone, especially if Hillary's a candidate, to say, hey, look in the mirror here, look in the camera here, and tell the American people what the heck happened on that night, step by step. I don't see a Jeb Bush doing that, let's say.
I do see some of the people that are involved in this, some of the congressmen and the senators, that they are pushing on this, and I'm glad to know that they're not letting up. And in fact, they were talking about Congressman Frank Wolf in light of some of the details that have come out regarding what was in that email and the talking points that were laid out clearly for Ambassador Rice to mislead. Even Congressman Frank Wolf now has said to John Boehner that it is now time, to address this very forcefully and to get to the truth.
Yeah, but isn't it past time? Look how long this has gone on. And again, you can't say it enough. These 4 Americans tortured and killed, hours passing, where they could have, something could have been done, an attempt, if nothing else. And here, it's all smiles. Obama's weighing in on the NBA and anything else that he wants to talk about. Hillary's talking about Chelsea. Everyone's laughing. And here you still have Americans who don't have answers, and unfortunately a lot of Americans who aren't seeking them.
Well, and in the meantime, you have headlines that it's talking about records that are being set by, between Joe Biden and President Obama himself. $40 million has been spent on taking these 2 gentlemen on vacations with their families. Almost $3 million for 2 golf outings. I think that there's just a real separation from the real world what's happening in America with this administration, and I just think that there's a reason that people are so frustrated with their government, and I guess the answer is to really work hard to get people elected to office who are going to be transparent in their governing, and this administration is definitely not.
Well, like you said, on the bright side, though, there are some outlets now reporting it. There are some congressional people seeking answers. And, a lot of times administrations and presidents in particular are judged, through history. Well, in short turnaround history here, maybe this will be just enough for people to look back and see really what, they were dealt here from these 8 years of Obama.
I certainly hope so, for the sake of the American people, but especially for those Americans who lost their lives.
All right, Susan, we appreciate it. Thank you. We'll talk next week.
Thank you, Kevin.
Susan Stimson in Virginia. More Commonwealth Common Sense next week. Now our weekly commentary, Steel Resolve. Here's Sarah Steelman.
Thanks, Kevin. This week, the Supreme Court heard 2 cases involving the Fourth Amendment that could affect every one of us. The question as to whether a warrantless search of your person extends to the information on your cell phone if you are arrested is what they're talking about. The Supreme Court has interpreted the Fourth Amendment ban on unreasonable searches to require that police obtain a search warrant from a neutral judge upon a showing that there is probable cause to believe a crime has been committed. The warrant is to specify where the search will be conducted and the evidence being sought. The exception to this rule is that the police can search your person without a warrant, so if you're carrying your cell phone, which most of us do, it becomes searchable. Of course, our smartphones today are more like mini computers, now carrying email, photos, text, bank accounts, etc. The fact that a police officer could potentially pull you over for a traffic violation and search your cell phone just because he wants to, without a warrant, is clearly a violation of our Fourth Amendment protection. In the past, Justice Scalia has recognized the importance of preserving this protection and actually sided with the liberals on the court. Let's hope the other conservative justices on the court recognize that our founders limited police power for a reason, and a warrant is required to search the information on your phone. This is Sarah Steelman for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tune in again next week for another segment of Steel Resolve right here on the Palin Update. The Palin Update, including Commonwealth Common Sense and Steel Resolve, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, follow along on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Susan B. Stimson, and at Sarah_Steelman. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Just go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. I want to thank Sarah Steelman, Susan Stimson, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to Taylor Griffin, and thank you for listening today. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.